Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Thursday. We've got some stuff to talk about. Today we're going to talk about Time Bandits and the original movie it's based on. So let's jump right into it. So we're going to break down this TV show and the differences between the TV show and the movie. Just kind of break it down and let you know what I think of the TV show so far. Now, it hasn't all been done yet. It's 10 episodes, and so far they're at episode 7, I believe. So I haven't seen all of the episodes yet. So we will revisit it after the season finale ends. But until then, I'm going to kind of compare it to the original movie a little bit and give you my thoughts on the series itself. So first off, if you don't know what Time Bandits was the brainchild of Terry Gilliam, and it was done all the way back in 1981. That's right, Time Bandits was all the way back in 1981. It was a British adventure movie where you had a bunch of little people actors. That's right, you had a bunch of little people actors. It was like a who's who of those actors, essentially. This whole team of Time Bandits was running from the Supreme Being, which was sort of like a version of a god, and he was essentially asking them to give back what they had stolen. What they had stolen was a map of time. So kind of giving you the rundown of what the original movie entailed. Now the series takes a different turn. So as you look at the TV series now, the TV series is drastically different from the original, in that the TV series doesn't have any of the little people actors. That's not entirely true, because there are two people who are little people that do show up in the series, and they are working for the Supreme Being. So it kind of does go in tune with at least honoring that was the thing before. But here's how the series is actually described. The series is still described as a ragtag group going through time and having stolen the map from the Supreme Being. Now, the difference here is in the cast. And the cast of this show is Lisa Kudrow, who you might remember as Phoebe in Friends, playing Penelope. Kel-El Tuck as Kevin. Tadag Murphy as Alto, and I know I'm going to mess up these names. Roger Jean, Nassim Gayavaya as Widget. Rune Timmett as Bitlick. Charlene Yai as Judy. Rachel House as Fiona. And Kira Thompson as Saffron. Now, it's that last character that makes the difference here in the show, because the original dealt with this boy who ended up seeing this group of time travelers that suddenly appeared in his closet, and they took him on an adventure through time, all while running from the Supreme Being. And they are also being hunted by the evil one, by the main source of evil. That's right, the pure evil. And this is sort of a devil-like figure. Now, he has a bunch of little minions that he uses, and these servants of his actually spy on people for him. He can use them to see what's going on and try to plot to get the map. Now, the thing is, he's trying to use every means necessary to get the map so that he can take over the world from the Supreme Being. Now, in the movie, they go a lot of different places throughout history, a lot of really interesting places, but it is just the boy and the Time Bandits. And in this one, they kind of take you away from that a few episodes in, because the boy, when we first see him, we know that the movie ends a certain way. If you haven't seen that movie, by the way, you need to watch that movie. It is absolutely amazing. Time Bandits is one of those movies that you really have to see to believe the insanity of it. And it's one of those movies that if you're a fan of sci-fi and time travel, you're probably going to enjoy it an awful lot. And if you like comedy, you're going to enjoy that too. If you're a fan of British comedy, that's even better. Now, the thing of it is, with this series, like I said, they kind of take you away from that almost instantaneously because, in addition to Kevin, the main character, the little boy, his sister Saffron finds herself traveling throughout time after the first episode. And they really do start to take some differences with where they go. In this series, they go absolutely nowhere that the movie went. And that is a good thing. I actually wouldn't like it if they followed the movie and didn't have the little people actors in place to do it. Taika Waititi gave us an entirely new look with this series, actually making sure to separate it from the original in every way possible. Now, he took a lot of slack for that. There's a lot of people that don't like the fact that he did that. However, I see the point after watching the show. I see what they were going for and what they were trying to do with it all. And Taika Waititi actually does something pretty cool when you think about it, to actually disassociate it from the original, giving us an all-new adventure. It actually does work. Now, I wasn't very happy when I read the description and learned that they weren't going to have the same pattern that I had seen before. I was one of those critics who walked into the series thinking that this wasn't going to be that good. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. Like I said, if they had gone all the places and just rinsed and repeated the entire movie that I saw as a child, then I probably wouldn't have liked it at all. But they actually do take us on a new adventure, almost as if this is an alternate universe, or maybe it's connected in some way that we haven't figured out yet. Now, that's the thing about this, having this sister, Saffron, kind of end up going alone in time. And that's the thing, she is on her own during this series, essentially. And that's really about the only thing I'll give you that's somewhat of a spoiler, is that she's not caught up with the rest of them. And I find that intriguing because she's on her own adventure. Then you have the things that are happening with the Supreme Being that we do get to see more of. And then, of course, just like in the movie, you do see a lot more of the pure evil one. And then to see the Time Bandits themselves on their adventure with Kevin. I think there's a lot going on in this series that helps it along. It is still a very childlike series in a lot of ways. It doesn't feel like it's meant for just adults. It has some adult humor at times, but it's so mild that you could legit watch this with your entire family. And I feel that Time Bandits kind of works the same way, the original movie, except for a few scary parts here and there. And with this series, sure, there are some scary parts here and there. After all, the evil ones that you see really do look quite evil and menacing. And little kids might have nightmares about them. However, if you were like me growing up, you probably didn't care about a little bit of scariness in your movies. I, for one, always rather enjoyed looking at FX and makeup and special effects and never had a problem with the scariness of anything at all. But that's just me. Then, so what exactly is different about the movie versus the TV show in terms of where they go? Well, a couple of places that they go in the movie are very spoilerish, but the series takes a different approach to it all. It actually starts them off at his house, and they have kind of changed the time period to be a more modern setting for the family. And the kid goes on an adventure to the Mayan time period, the medieval time period, Prohibition. Now, if that sounds insane, it's because it is. I highly recommend this series so far. However, how do I want it to end? Well, first off, of course, I want Saffron to find her way to the rest of the Time Bandits. Farther separate this from anything to do with the original movie or plot. Have the have the Supreme Being plot end in a completely different way than it did in the movie, and I can't give you that because that would be spoilers. However, have them continue to travel through time. Have them actually continue to travel through time, only now Saffron and Kevin are with them. Traveling through time as part of this new Time Bandits. The places they could go and the things they could see are unlimited in this series should it get a second season. This is where I'm going to leave it off to you guys. I want to know what you guys think about all of this. If you've seen the original movie Time Bandits, how did you feel about that? Have you seen this new TV version of Time Bandits? What do you think about it? Are you a fan of it so far? Where do you think the series should go? And remember, we will try to keep it somewhat spoiler free, at least until we have to talk about the series finale. As always, we want to know what you guys think. Make sure you leave us that comment in the comment box below letting us know what you think. Don't forget to share this video with all of your friends. They're going to want to be a part of the conversation as well. Then make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It helps the channel, and we really do appreciate it. Miko says we need more subscribers, and look at this face. You don't want to disappoint Miko, so go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell while you're down there so you don't miss a single video we do. Then friends, at the end of the day, I know it, you know it, and Miko knows it. Fandom is family.